Hello, this is Michael ZapQ, and in this presentation I'm going to show you how to record a video using Adobe Connect. So to get started, once you have Adobe Connect up, as you can see here, you can go ahead and pull up a share window. Again, if you want to get a new share, you can go to Pods, Share, Add New Share. If there's one already up, you could potentially just use that one. So you'll want to go into Share Document, and if it's not already in there, which it probably won't be, you want to click on Browse My Computer and then upload the PowerPoint presentation. Now, some people will load a PDF instead of a PowerPoint, or it's a PDF of the PowerPoint. I don't think that works quite as well. You can do it if you want, but I do prefer just loading it as a PowerPoint itself. So you just select your file and then hit OK, or once you've uploaded it under Browse My Computer, just go ahead and upload it. It will load. Now, in this case, I'm going to actually open the one I've already uploaded. So it'll look like that. Your PowerPoint will pull up, and you can see it's sort of windowed right here. I would suggest doing it as full screen as you can. Just grab a corner and drag it down and lock it into place. And I'm actually going to hide it for a second just so you can see the difference. Now, that was a I'll show you more about the PowerPoint version, but this is what, if you upload it as a PDF, what it would look like. It sort of has a scroll bar on the side, and you can use the arrows down here at the bottom, and it will sort of lock to the pages, but it's not quite as reliable. It sort of looks like it's cutting off part of the bottom still. So anyways, if you can upload it as a PowerPoint, all right, I'm going to pull the window back up. Okay, so I have my PowerPoint here up and ready to go, and it's full screen here. You don't necessarily have to do this full screen, but just make sure it fills the window here. And then to record, you can go up to Meeting and click on Record Meeting. I'll just call this Practice and hit OK. And now the session is being recorded. You can see right here, meeting session is being recorded. It gives you the option to pause or stop right there. You can X that out. But essentially, there's going to be this little red button up here showing that you're recording. If you click on that, you can pause it. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it right now. Then you'll see it says the recording is paused, and it has a little pause symbol now over the record button. So that would be the first tip I would say is, start recording and do a few slides, or get through as much as you can. But if you get to a point where you want to stop and sort of regroup, or preview the next slide maybe before you want to record, you could just come up here and click on pause real quick. Sort of gather your thoughts, get ready to do what you're going to say for the next slide, and then go ahead and continue the recording once you're ready to go again. You can hit on resume recording. So you can see it's recording again, and then you can continue. So if you do run into an error, the best thing you can do is just to pause for a few moments, gather your thoughts, and then continue. And that's not if you're so if you make a mistake, let's say you're recording and making a mistake, and you just really want to re-record that section, I would just say take a moment, take a breath. Don't stop the recording unless you just need some extra time, but just pause for a moment, go back a sentence or two, or restart the slide and just re-record. And then just mark it in your notes that you will need to edit that section out. So I can go back in and edit it. I don't want you to get too caught up in being perfect with it. Just pretend you're doing a live course. But if there's absolutely something you want to cut out, you've made the mistake, pause for a few moments and re-record or re-say whatever it was you just said correctly, and then we can always edit that out. But if you try to do it in multiple recording sessions, that's when it gets messy, because you can't really combine them that easily. So just, we can just edit within the session though, just cut out little sections as needed. Okay, so that's the basics of recording. Now I'm recording myself right now, and I'm going to go ahead and just stop that. Okay, so one of the questions that came up was how to link to a YouTube video. Now, I think the best way to do it is actually to create the link in the PowerPoint before you upload it. So I'm going to pull up PowerPoint here and go back to this first one. Now, you can see that this is underlined because it's actually a link. So if you don't know how to create a link in PowerPoint, you can just highlight the text that you want. You can go up to Insert, depending on which version of PowerPoint you have, and then click on Hyperlink. And you can then paste the link that you want right there, YouTube video. See, I have one loaded in there already. But you would paste that there and hit OK. And then that will become a link. Now, I did this as an example. I pasted the link here, and then I also, created this as a link here, but then I also pasted the link there. So sometimes it's good practice to do that, just depending on the circumstances. In this case, it doesn't necessarily matter too much, but I was really just testing the links. If you just paste a link into PowerPoint, it will not automatically create it as a link, if that makes any sense. It won't be clickable. But if you actually highlight it and then do what I mentioned before and create the hyperlink using the hyperlink button here, then it will be linkable. So if we go back into Connect, you can see that this turns into a pointing hand as I hover over it. That means it's an active link. This one is not. But if someone did have problems linking, perhaps it sometimes might be good, again, to have, maybe you could have the link here so they could type it in manually, but in most cases, you're going to want it to make it an active link. So anyways, nutshell here, basically you want to create the link in PowerPoint in advance, save the PowerPoint, and then when you upload it to Connect, Connect will recognize those as an active link. And so then when you get to that point in your PowerPoint and you want to say, hey, please watch this video, you could just verbalize it as such. Maybe wait a beat, or tell them to, they can pause the video, pause the presentation that you're doing, click on the link, and then once they're done watching the video, they can come back in and continue watching. Now, I'm going to pause this, but I clicked on the link and it automatically pulled up the YouTube video in my browser. So that's what would happen on their end. They can watch it, close it out, and then they can continue the presentation. So that's in this case, it's probably going to be the best way to do it, and they can just click on it right there on the slide, and you can continue and go from there. So so one final thing is that to progress slides back and forth, you just use the little arrows at the bottom here. And while you can do this method, there's this other little box that pulls up the menu on the side that allows you to quick go to a particular slide. If you needed to do that, that's certainly an option if you didn't want to flip through them all. But note that this may pull up in the video if you do click on that. So just use the left and right arrows. And that's pretty much it. Once you're done with your presentation, again, make sure you go up and finalize the recording by clicking it up here and hitting stop. Again, it's not here now because I've already stopped mine, but make sure you stop it. And that will automatically create a link in the Adobe Connect in the administration area, and we can link to it. So that's pretty much how you create an Adobe Connect video using Adobe Connect.